Alright, guys, so, in case you hadn't heard, this, Brittany Herring and three of her friends over there, in Chicago, uh, from what I can tell so far, seem to, get some mentally disabled, mentally challenged white guy, uh, to trust them, and when they got him to trust them, they kidnapped him, they tied him up, and they beat the hell out of him and basically tortured him uh, for 24 to 48 hours while live streaming the whole event on Facebook. Now, it's just one thing in itself if you get four of these uh, uh, black youth gang members uh, who are claiming to be PBG. But if you go out and dig into this thing, PBG says this dude's a fake. He has nothing to do with them. He's a fake claimer, and I would imagine that most real criminals usually would have enough common sense not to live stream torturing a white dude for 24 to 48 hours. They wouldn't stream it live on Facebook. It's not only the fact that they're making it racist and making it about Trump when it's black people doing it to a white dude. That's not even the worst part of it, y'all. Obviously, these people are racist as fuck. Okay, but this dude was mentally disabled. They were beating the crap out of him, slicing off his clothes. They were literally scalping this dude's head. And you gotta understand, this torture didn't just happen to a white dude. This happened to a mentally challenged white dude. All right, so we can talk about discrimination all we want. All right, but these were obviously a bunch of idiot little thug gangster kids, which I would say for the most part do not represent most of the black community. Obviously, I'm not black, but I can say from my personal interactions, from my associates and my friends and the people that I know, they think these kids are stupid as fuck. I can tell you this. If this was white people doing this to a black mentally challenged child, I would be pretty fucking embarrassed for my people. And I probably wouldn't want to leave the house for a couple of days. But obviously, that would be a much worse case scenario. But let's cut all the bullshit about that, because there's too much race dividing push narrative by this government propaganda machine. We need to look past that. These were obviously some very fucking retarded, and and and, and I don't mean to use that in offense to this mentally challenged boy, that they were torturing for 24 to 48 hours. But these kids were fucking stupid. They may have been almost stupider than the kid that they abducted. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound offensive, but these guys were fucking morons. How fucking dumb do you have to be to stream some shit like this on Facebook Live and not know that every last one of you is going to spend the rest of your life in prison? Really? Are you telling me that they were so drunk and so high they thought it was cool to film this shit? Really? Come on now. No. This is the point. This is what I want to point out to you guys, and this is what I'm not understanding, and somebody maybe could explain this shit to me. We all know the government's the biggest spy agency on the planet. We all know that the CIA has come out and said that Facebook was the greatest spying tool for the U.S. government ever created in the history of the universe. And everybody on the planet wants an account. Right? Edward Snowden, they just made a movie about him. Some of y'all must have seen it. He's hiding in Russia because he told the whole planet about the spying the U.S. government is doing on everybody 24/7. We got monstrous facilities stockpiled with servers so they can spy on you. And they're saying it took somewhere between 24 and 48 hours for the authorities to figure out that a mentally disabled child was getting tortured by 4 juvenile thugs, live streamed on Facebook, and it took them 24 to 48 hours to find this. Is this the kind of intelligence we can expect from our government? Are you really telling me with all the spying that they're doing, it took them 24 to 48 hours to find out that this even happened once the dude had already been let go? Something just doesn't smell right. Now, if you go and you find the actual footage, I actually watched a video of the actual footage last night. It's actually already been removed. But this girl here, Brittany Herring, the one who's doing the live streaming, she's reading the comments as she's live streaming, and her own sister was saying, y'all are a bunch of fucking idiots and y'all are going to go to jail. And she's just laughing and smoking her blunt and, ha 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 ha, let's go smack this bitch. And nobody thought to call the police or the authorities. And not only that, the FBI has that whole, what, if you see something, say something campaign they got going on. Has nobody heard about this? Because the last time I checked, and I'm pretty sure this is in all 50 states, if you see a crime and you fail to report it, you could be charged with a crime. If the police find out that you were witness to a crime and you don't report it, you can go to jail. This is a crime. And this is one of the most heinous crimes I've ever seen. And as you can see right here, if you look at this picture, 16K views. 16,000 people at the minimum saw this video while it was happening, and no one thought to call the police. Right? So what I want to know is, we all know the government keeps tabs on everybody on Facebook. They go in and shut down and censor people all the time because they don't like what people are saying. They know exactly what every single person on Facebook is doing. All right? They know. So I'm pretty sure it would be relatively easy to go into their little database, find out all these people who are watching this thing, and find out how many of them actually called the cops or some kind of legal authority. You can't tell me that a normal human being is going to go on Facebook and see a live streaming of 4 thugs, 4 juveniles. Let's not even talk about the race, but let's talk about the fact that 4 juveniles were torturing a mentally challenged boy for 24 to 48 hours. You're telling me that a big chunk of these people didn't call the cops? Because if I saw this, I would have been on the phone. I would have been on the phone with the cops. I would have been on the phone with the FBI. I would have called somebody and been like, dude, there's some kid getting tortured on Facebook right now, and he's obviously needs some help. So I want to know how many of these 16,000 people actually called the cops. Because any of these people who are normal adults and saw this thing and didn't call the cops should be charged with a crime. They should be charged as co-conspirators in a hate crime. Anybody who happened to see this thing streaming live and didn't call the cops when they saw a mentally challenged boy getting tortured on the internet is just as responsible as anybody else. Because they didn't even find out this happened until after the kid was released. So what are they going to do? Because as far as I'm concerned, any single person who saw this stream and didn't contact the authorities when they were watching it while it happened should be in jail as co-conspirators with these people. You can't just tell me that it's okay to just see something that fucked up and that disturbing and not want to call the cops. Not even forget about the whole fucking race thing. All right, I'm tired of them pushing this race narrative. This was terrorism, and on top of that, all right, this wasn't just horrible, but it was terrorism. They're sending the big fat message out saying, if you're white and you like Trump, we're going to scalp your ass next. Because if you think you're not safe, well, look, we're going to do it to a little retarded boy. We don't give a fuck. Now, obviously, most people are intelligent enough that these people do not represent the whole of the black community. At least I would hope not. I will not choose to speak for you guys. Because that would just be, well, wrong. I'm obviously not black, but come on now. Let's be real. So, I don't know what to do, y'all. We know Chicago is one of the most messed up cities in the country right now. It seems like they have 2 murders and 10 shootings a day. And this is what it's progressed into. I don't know. But all I'm saying, as far as I'm concerned, if all of these 16,000 views were actual people who saw this live, if any of these 16,000 people are over the age of 18 and they didn't call the authorities, find their logs, lock them up, make these people accessories, and throw their ass in jail. If these people saying fuck Trump and fuck white people while torturing some little white retarded kid, how is that any different from these people over there in ISIS saying fuck America and fuck Christians and cutting people's heads off? Well, the difference is here, they're just a bunch of little idiot juveniles, but it's the same damn message of propaganda. Except this was done by kids. That's what this was. This was terrorism. This was an act of terrorism. They're trying to sway the minds of Americans to say, if you're white and you like Trump, we can kidnap you and we can torture you and we can let the people go and the cops won't even show up. Because they didn't. Right? So there's a lot of levels to this thing. But my main point that I want to get across to you guys that pisses me off is, as far as I'm concerned, if you can see and I don't forget race, if you see 4 white people on Facebook torturing some white mentally challenged kid, or if you see 4 black kids torturing some white mentally challenged kid streaming live on Facebook, it doesn't matter. If you see that shit live, you need to call the cops, because that's some fucked up shit. I mean, what would it have taken for people to pick up the phone and call the authorities? Does it need to be a baby? Does it need to be animals? Like what? I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, if this is a true representation of the people that actually watched this thing live, and 16,000 people saw this thing live, if 16,000 adults saw this thing live and didn't call the cops, they're accessories. And all these people, if nothing else, should be levied a heavy fine to let them know, if you see something this despicable and you don't stand up to do something about it, you are culpable. just as culpable as the people who did it themselves. You have a responsibility as human beings to stand up for mentally disabled people when they're getting fucking tortured live on the internet. And the thing that really pisses me off is this is going to even push the narrative more to give them more power to censor the fucking internet and take away more of our free speech. Aside from that, black people, white people, Mexican people, it doesn't matter. Don't let shock videos like this and bullshit coming out of the line mainstream media convince you to believe that there's some big, huge racial divide in this country. A lot of this shit is propaganda. I hang around with Hispanic people and Asian people and black people all the time. And guess what? None of this shit is real. Not nearly in the scope that people are making out to be. We've come way too far in this country to let a stupid act by stupid kids doing stupid things to get blown out of proportion. But as for you adults out there who saw this and did nothing, you're just as responsible.